Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. We're going to show you some ways to swing the club, especially the driver, faster to generate more speed to hit the ball farther. This webinar is brought to you as always by Medicus Golf and Pure Strike Golf, a home of KickX Golf as well. And we're filming it here at the beautiful Tiffany Greens Golf Club in Kansas City, Missouri. We're down in our indoor training center right now. And I have three different drivers and I have a stick, and we're going to talk about a couple of things. You know, there's been a lot of talk all over the internet lately about why is a certain player who used to be the world's #1 player, why is he hitting the ball all over the planet now versus how he hit it, say, 14 years ago. And we'll talk a little bit about that, but let's talk about the things that actually do create the speed. So I'm going to lay these down for right now. Long drive competitors, there are guys and gals that play with drivers that are up to 50 inches long. Now, they only have to hit 1 out of 3 balls inbounds, obviously. They're trying to hit all 3 inbounds, but they only have to hit 1 inbounds to actually count. So when you get a driver that long, it takes that much longer to get back to the golf ball. So the keys to hitting it is you not only have to swing the arms faster, your body needs to support that arm swing as well. Okay, so I've got just a little dowel here, and if I go and I hold the angle like this as I swing through, I want you to listen to this. I'm just going to do it with my right hand actually, so you can see how it's like this. So if I swing up and go like this, it makes a certain swish. But if I take it up and I allow it to swing from the wrist joint into impact this way instead of that way, listen to the difference. A lot faster, and I have free movement going back and forth. So if I want to hit it farther, I've got to speed the club up. I've got to hit it in the middle of the club face. I can't have a short around my arm swing this way. That doesn't provide enough leverage. So I also don't want to restrict my pivot, how my body moves. So if you look back through the years, some of the greatest players in the world, if you look at Lee Trevino, Jack Nicklaus, Bobby Jones, Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, a lot of these players, they played their entire lives with their golf swing basically looking the same. Now they changed some of the things they did with their club face. But if you look at Tom Watson, I mean, he's 64 years old, he still has the same swing that he had when he was 20 years old. All right? He's not as flexible, so the club doesn't go as far back. But you've really never seen long drivers of the golf ball with their hands underneath their shoulder firing it this way. Most of the longer drivers in more speed have gotten their hands up, they've made a full body turn, and if you want to lift your left foot, that's okay too. Then if you start down, you're just planting the foot and you're moving your body. A good example of that would be Bubba Watson. Okay, Bubba's got really high hands, and when he comes down, he's got lots of power. Now, in your effort to get power, you can sometimes lose accuracy. So let's look at a couple of things here. This is a Medicus Power Max. It's a heavy driver. So this driver is designed to build strength, not speed. So if I want to work on the strength of my shoulders, my upper back, my hands and forearms, I'm going to swing this club. And you can hit balls with this as well. You're trying to get this up and back. So it's up and then just swing it like you would a normal driver. Again, it doesn't help you build speed, but it builds strength. Use something light, like this stick, for speed training. Another thing you want to do is you want to learn how to break at the golf ball. So you could have a pillow, duffel bag, anything like that. Take a full swing and then try to stop it at the golf ball. So what that's happening is it's like snapping a towel. When I put the brakes on, see, this club slashes forward. The club head comes way forward. It starts picking up momentum this way. Again, when you go out this way, the problem is the face wants to aim to the right. Well, if the face is going to aim to the right, and I'm hitting down too much, especially with the driver, I've got to aim my body more left to do that. And that's something you really don't want to have to offset unless you just absolutely can't get this out of it. So I also have, in theory, if you had a really, really long driver, and I'm going to extend this thing out. Okay, this is maybe the longest driver you'll ever see. In theory, if I could actually get this moving, okay, at enough speed, I would hit farther because it's a longer levered driver, right? I would hit this farther if I can find the golf ball than I would a driver that, say, was 2 feet long. So if I take this and I swing back with this, you'll see it's really, really difficult for me to get that up there. And as it comes back, your timing has to be impeccable. Again, going back to the long drive guys, that's why a lot of them that play those 50-inch drivers don't hit it in play a lot. They hit it a long way, but they don't hit it in play a lot. And hitting the ball out of play doesn't do you any good. I mean, you know, one of my favorite sayings is the woods are full of long hitters. So you got to remember, it only takes a couple of degrees off. And if you're swinging, let's say at 75 miles an hour and you're hitting the ball, 150, 160 yards on the fly, if you have a 1 degree open or closed face, it generally is going to stay in play. As you progressively increase that swing speed, when you get up to and you're hitting the ball, let's say at 250 yards, that 1 degree open or close can put the ball out of play. Today's manufacturers generally make drivers that are about 46 inches long. My recommendation is for most people, they need to have a 44-inch or shorter driver because they can handle that. My driver's 43 3/4. So again, all I'm trying to do here is I want to torque my body, build as much speed as I can, get my hand up as far as I can, and really rip it coming down and through. So it would look more this way. And when you do that stop drill, you'll see how the club head, I'll do it in slow motion, gets in line with the hands instead of this way. If I keep dragging my body this way, the club face is going to stay open. So I want to get that club going quickly. Here's another little thing I'll show you with this other dowel. If you have a left arm, for example, and a golf club. All right, let's say this is my left arm, this is my club. All right, so if I'm coming into impact like this, with that club head still back there, I've got to keep going a long way to get that club head up. What you want to feel like is this club head and shaft are getting in line with your hands or the driver at impact, not having the forward leaning shaft that way. So again, you're just trying to get the club head in line with the hands, and if you're somebody that does have the handle really far forward like you would with an iron, you're going to feel like you are casting it. Remember, it's not casting if the club head doesn't go past your hands and if your pressure is up on your left foot. So Tom Watson is in the Hall of Fame with a move that goes this way the whole way. And Hogan, of course, was more this way. And Jack Nicklaus was somewhere in between. So of those, for sure, Jack Nicklaus was the longest driver. I mean, I think it was in 63 or 64 when they had the long drive championships at the PGA. He used an 11-degree loft persimmon-headed driver and a wound golf ball and hit it 343 yards, which is pretty long back in 1963 and 64 for the equipment they had. So again, you have to learn how to line these things up. Not so much with an iron, right? But with a driver, you've got to get this lined up. So how am I going to build more speed? I'm going to do lots and lots of speed drills. And you can do this one arm, you can do it just left-handed, you can do it right-handed, but you want to feel this club whipping. You want to feel the club head going this way into impact instead of that way. So whip that. And that second thing is don't restrict your hip turn. Let all of this turn as far as you can go. Try to get stretched away as far as you can go in the backswing. You know, trying to restrict your weight is not going to work. Trying to restrict your hip turn is not going to work. We need to load up, get over onto our right. You're going to feel pressure in your right foot if you're a right golfer. Get your arms up with a full shoulder turn. Remember, if I go this way, I can still turn my shoulders a long way, and it would look kind of like this. The problem is I have what I would refer to as a shorter arc. So now I definitely have the club coming down more from the inside. Well, I can do the same thing, getting it up here, make the same move, and that club is still coming from the inside. Boom. And you may not want to bring from the inside. You may want to swing the club a little bit, what we would call, well, it would be inward, so it would be a little bit left feeling, right, for a right-handed player, because you may want to play a pull cut. I want to play a push draw from this high hand position. All I'm going to do is make my hips go a little bit this direction as I start that downswing, which will flatten the shaft. So again, recommendations are get more loft on your driver, have a shorter shaft, use something heavy like the Medicus heavy weighted club to build the strength, use one of these dowels, or you can just use a normal wooden dowel, and feel how fast you can move this. Then finally set up your pillow, make a full backswing, feel like you're going to stop right at it. Boom. And if you do that, I promise you're going to speed up the club. And when you do this little stopping action, again, it's like snapping a towel. When I do this stop, what actually happens is the club head accelerates into the ball. When I feel like I'm going to stop, that club head accelerates into the golf ball. Well, I hope that helped you guys. Be sure to send us some emails if you have questions, so we'll answer them next week. And we'll look forward to seeing you next Friday. Till then, see ya.